admire this country, now multi-racial, multicultural, multi-religions.
Well, during a multi-day visit to Canada, the Dalai Lama met with Prime Minister Stephen Harper on Parliament Hill, and that move has Chinese officials angry. China says the spiritual leader is nothing more than a Tibetan separatist. For a look at the visit, I'm joined from Ottawa by the Secretary of State for Multiculturalism, Jason Kenney. Good to see you again, Mr. Kenney. Tell me a little bit about the decision to meet with the Dalai Lama. I mean, clearly the Prime Minister would know that China, because of their repeated calls, wouldn't be happy with this.
Well, the Prime Minister has said before that foreign governments are not going to dictate who he or other officials in Canada meet with. And the Dalai Lama is, after all, an honorary Canadian citizen. He was declared that by both houses of Parliament unanimously last year, and over 80% of Canadians in a recent poll said the Prime Minister should meet with him. So it's only natural. It's the right thing to do. It's Canadian hospitality for a respected world figure, an advocate of peace, pluralism, and nonviolence.
Which is, and you know what China's saying. I mean, they called Canada conniving. They said that, you know, this is a political visit, that this guy's a separatist, that they didn't want this to happen. Is it something when he made the decision for all of the reasons that you were talking, but is he also looking at the fact that George Bush met with the Dalai Lama, that Angela Merkel met with the Dalai Lama? Does he look at that then and say, okay, well, you know, these guys did it, it's fine?
Actually, I can tell you that the Prime Minister's decision to meet with the Dalai Lama was taken long before those visits. In fact, a year ago, the Prime Minister asked me to welcome the Dalai Lama to Vancouver, and where he received his honorary Canadian citizenship, and expressed that he was regretful that he couldn't meet him then. So this Prime Minister obviously is someone who's placed a real emphasis on human rights and Canadian values in our foreign policy, and he has said that we can do business without sacrificing our belief in human rights. You know what? Since we declared the Dalai Lama an honorary citizen, our trade with China has gone up. Our exports to China have gone up for the first time in a long time, and Chinese tourism to Canada has gone up, all of which proves what the Prime Minister has said, that we can do business as well as without sacrificing Canada's belief in human rights.
Well, let's listen in to a portion of what the Chinese embassy had to say last night.
It is a blatant interference in China's internal affairs and has severely hurt the feelings of the Chinese people, and will gravely undermine the relationship between China and Canada.
Completely undermine the relationship between China and Canada. Are you worried about retaliation?
Well, as I said, since we declared the Dalai Lama an honorary citizen last year, based on the actual numbers, the economic relationship with China has actually improved. The kind of clip you just played is pretty typical. It happens whenever a foreign leader meets with His Holiness. But you know what? I think the world is saying increasingly that they respect this Nobel Peace Prize laureate, this man who is an advocate of nonviolence. And you know, he pointed out yesterday, when he's in speaking to parliamentarians, that he's not advocating anything that should be considered politically problematic. He's advocating to some degree of cultural autonomy for his people so they can preserve Tibetan religion and culture under a lot of pressure right now, by the way.
And you had a chance to meet with him as well yesterday. What were your impressions of him?
Well, he is, you know, I have to say, I find him very remarkable man. He spends several hours a day in meditation, and you can just feel that kind of that aura around him of a truly holy person. Yeah. And he's also at the same time very down to earth, totally unpretentious, with a great, almost childlike sense of humor. He's obviously a man of great courage, and at 72 years of age, filled with energy. I think everybody that met with him yesterday here in Ottawa was impressed.
Well, and just before I let you go, I want to switch gears just for a moment, because we're looking forward to hearing the